Today is just one of those days where I just been reflecting on stuff, and I was looking through my comments, trying to figure out what kind of live stream I wanted to have today. And I came across a comment that somebody made about me. When this video, I posted this video, I think yesterday. It was called "He Played the Perfect Boyfriend." And I posted it on my YouTube channel, but I shared the link on my Facebook page. And a lot of people from my Facebook page are coming over to this video and they're commenting. And this one person said something that I've seen repeatedly said over and over and over again, over and over and over again. That's why I'm going to talk about it, because I've always seen people say it, but I never really addressed it. And since I'm using my story as a way to help other women heal and to, just show women how to reclaim their power when it comes to their story and their narrative, I'm going to address this today. And the beginning of her comment, I'm not going to read the whole comment because it's kind of long-winded, but she said, her name is Diane Fleming, and she could be a troll, but because she said something that's commonly a misconception on social media in general, I'm going to address it. So she said, I understand you're saying that everything was, and you felt like he just switched on you. She's basically saying, because I said that the relationship was good with my son's father before things went bad, I never would have guessed that he would have turned up being what he is. And she said, but you two only knew each other for 3 months before you got pregnant. And I see people say this all of the time. And I think part of the reason why people say that is because my son's father and his estranged wife during that time, during my pregnancy, after fooling the fuck out of me, they decided to get on social media and fool the fuck out of everybody else on social media and tell everybody, that the relationship was trivial. And I remember hearing a clip of my son's father's estranged wife, Sidonia, saying, well, they wasn't together that long. They were only together for a little while. I don't understand. Bop, bop, bop. And to this day, I don't know what her thought process was when she decided to switch on me, but I'm pretty sure it has to do something with male validation. And you know how women are with adoration, and she just wanted to appeal to him. Or he could have just been lying to her, about how long he and I had been dating. So I just want to clear this up with everybody. I started talking to my son's father in March of 2017. I met him on a dating app. All right. And I wasn't using the dating app to date. I was using the dating app because I was a promoter in Atlanta and I used to promote parties all of the time. And we were having like some type of football party. Like it was a football Sunday or football Thursday or something. I don't remember what it was exactly, but I do know it had something to do with football, and it had something to do with this lounge I was working out of called Theory Lounge. And I was promoting Theory Lounge at the time, and I was just on the platform. And being on the platform, it would drag a lot of men in because I was an attractive woman. So when the men would try to get at me, I would invite them out to Theory. And so that's what I did with him. I invited him out to Theory Lounge to come to a party. And he said it was too far from where he lived. And, we just started talking. And this was in March 2017. Okay. So then we began dating like slowly. And during this time, I did not know that he was like involved with anybody. I didn't know his situation like that. All I knew was I thought he was a single man. We just started talking and being friends. And then one day we decided to go ahead and just meet each other off of the app and go on our first date after we had been like talking. Okay. Now I think we had been talking for maybe a month, maybe, I don't know, March, April, like a month or two before we like decided to go on our first date. So we go on to our first date. All right. And we have a great first date. All right. And we decided to go half on the date. You know what I mean? Because we was going I didn't think it was going to be expensive because we were going to like some little bar called JR Crickets. And we get to the JR Crickets and we just having a good time. We're drinking, we're eating. They were having like a crab leg special or whatever. So we're sitting here eating crab legs and drinking and stuff. And we're having a good ass time. And so at the end of the date, something like my women's intuition kicked in. And I just flat out asked him out of nowhere. I asked him, "Are you married?" Because I had never asked him before, are you in a relationship? Do you have a girlfriend? Do you have any of that? Because all of the conversations that we were having, we were just naturally like talking and building something. So I wasn't even thinking to ask him. I was just assuming that because he was on a dating site, that obviously meant he was single. Right. So I asked him and he says, "Yeah, I'm separated though." And I was like, "Oh, date over." I'm gone. Like, so I get up, I go to pay for my half of it. I just throw my little $40 down on the table and then I walk off. And sitting, I get in my car because I'm the one that drove us to the bar from his car because he parked his car at Stonecrest Mall. And Stonecrest Mall was right by the JR Crickets. So I picked him up at Stonecrest Mall and we drove to the JR Crickets in my car. And so I get in my car. I'm about to drive off. I'm not even thinking about dude. I'm like, oh, I'm just about to leave him in the restaurant. Then I was like, wait a minute, it's kind of mean to just leave him here. But at the same time, dude married. He be okay. And my car was parked in front of this cigar lounge that was next to the JR Crickets. And the security guard saw me getting in my car by myself. So he comes to the window and he starts talking to me. And he's like, why don't you come into the cigar bar? And why don't you do blah, blah, blah? And I'm like, I don't smoke again. My lungs are not prepared for that type of damn abuse. No, sir. But he begins to try to holler, right? So out comes my son's father. He comes running out and he's telling me he needs more money for the tab because it's more expensive than we thought it was. And I'm thinking to myself, it can't be no more than like, I don't know, $80. I just gave you $40. We supposed to go half, and now you coming out here asking for more. And he said it's $99. And I'm thinking, you can't deal with the rest. I was like, whatever. So anyway, I go to reach to give him the cash for the rest. And I'm sitting there and I'm like, okay, let me just wait for him to come back. The cigar lounge security dude walks off because he's seeing me talking to this dude. So he's just like, oh, okay, I see what's happening here. So the cigar lounge security guard just walks off. And then I'm like, let me just wait till he come back out because I feel bad to leaving here because he is drunk. I don't know. It'll be my fault if something happens to him because I don't left him. So at least I can say I drove him back to his car if something happens to him. So he comes back out and he gets in a car, I think. I don't know if he went back in or came back out. I can't remember that part. It's like foggy because I was dealing with him and the security guard at the same time. But anyway, he ends up getting in the car and he says, thank you for not leaving me. And I was just like, no problem. And I end up taking him to his car. And I remember telling him on the way there, like, listen, I can't deal with you. I can't date you or anything, but we can just be friends. Like, that's all I can give you, platonic friendship, because I can't date somebody who's like married to somebody else. And he just like, cool, whatever, blah, blah, blah. And I was like, done, right? So he gets in his car and I leave. So we end up talking again. And I don't even know how we ended up talking again, but it could have just been he hit me up and said what's up, or I hit him up and said what's up. But we kept talking like as friends. We wasn't even like thinking about like dating or anything. But the thing is, we enjoy being around each other. So we were like talking and stuff a lot. And so eventually he started talking to me about her. He started telling me that they were separated and they had been separated for 2 years and she knew who I was. And she, was encouraging him to date me and all of these things. And I'm like surprised. Like, I'm like, oh my God, like, because he had been so honest with me seemingly before that, I felt no reason to believe that he was lying. You know what I'm saying? But because he was always so free all of the time, like it wasn't like I could never catch up with him. It's like when I called, he answered. You know what I mean? Like anytime I wanted to hang out, he was available. He was like always available I always had access to him. And usually if you're dating someone who's like married or something, you can barely get a hold of them. Like there's a certain time you can talk to them. You can't talk to them on the phone all the time. I used to be talking to him all the time. So it was just like he was behaving like a dude who was full blown single. So I was like, oh my God, this dude is like, you know. So anyway, around the time June came, by the time June came, I remember all of this was like in March and shit like that in March. So we went through March, we went through April, we get towards the end of May, and we decide to go out of town to a mansion party from one of my friends. So we drive out to the mansion party, and the mansion party is maybe like 2 hours away, maybe 2 or 3 hours, or something like that. It's not close. Shit's far. So we drove out there. We got a hotel room out there. And remember, I'm thinking he's this guy who is separated, who lives alone or lives with like his mom or some shit like that. We've been dating for a while. We've been talking for a while. We've been having a great time. He's always accessible. He's not giving me any red flags or anything like that. I remember being at the party, right? And we're at the party, we're at the mansion party, and he's playing pool, and I'm bringing him drinks or whatever he needs or shit. And I remember him saying he needed to go talk on the phone. And he was saying, oh, this is like Sidonia calling me. Like, this is my wife calling me, right? And I'm thinking, oh, I don't know why she's calling. I'm not, what I mean? That ain't my business. I don't know. Me and him ain't really done anything yet. We just hanging out and shit. And I'm not thinking she a threat or they together or anything, because if your man could go out of town for the weekend, you know what I mean? Like if like say for instance you are married, right? And your husband go out of town for a weekend, wouldn't you be like shocked? Wouldn't you be like I was surprised that was the first phone call she had made, because we had been gone for so long. You know what I mean? By the time she called. So I didn't think nothing about it. I was just like, oh, they just, you know what I mean? And because they had been married so long, I was just I wasn't tripping. You know what I mean? I'm the type of person, I'm not a very jealous hearted person. I'm not a person who's, like an ugly person. I'm just like, all right, whatever, cool. I'm okay with y'all having a friendship. If you're telling me that it's strictly platonic, I'm gonna trust you. Hey, beautiful people. I'm coming to y'all from the heart today because my son Justice needs some extra love and support. As many of you know, he's on the autism spectrum, and I'm doing everything I can to give him the care he deserves. That means funding his evaluations, his therapy, his sensory tools, and the help of his amazing special care nurse, Luciana, who is a real MVP. Plus, I'm working on moving us into a new home so he can have a stable, sensory-friendly space where he can truly thrive. If you feel it in your heart to help, you can donate via Cash App at $4SOMO. Every dollar goes straight to making his life better. And if you can't donate, no worries. Just like, share, and subscribe to keep these videos moving and help me earn more from YouTube. Every click, every comment, and every share is a blessing. I love y'all so much. Thank you for sharing. And thank you for riding with us on this journey. Have vision and stay focused. Bye.